Welcome
to the J&O Show,
where we talk about
the truth about good men and good women. Stephen Speaks was on tonight's conversation, y'all. We got to get it.
This should be good.
A lot of quote-unquote good men and good women ain't as good as they think they are.
Exactly.
Right? So people...
Rewind.
People love... people love to hide behind...
Bruh. That was a whole bar right there.
That's called bars.
Is he married? This is what I want to know, if that brother's married.
I don't know.
I don't think he's married, but I don't know.
I don't think he is.
What's with all of these non-married people who be like spitting wisdom from time to time?
I don't know.
To hide behind the label of good and overlook the real flaws that exist or the issues that they need to resolve in that relationship. Two, when we say good women or women grow to like good men, a lot of them learn how to tolerate good men. And what I mean by that is, the reality is, like, for a lot of quote-unquote good men, what they're lacking is masculine energy. They're this too nice. They don't understand. They have no backbone. They have no vision. They have no plan. They don't know how to stand on their own two damn feet. And so they hide behind good.
This is part of the reason I'm liking this Christianity and the stuff that I'm learning about Christianity now. Teach you how to be a man. Not this soft stuff. Not some of y'all churches got soft feminist man syndrome.
Bruh.
Where your men is soft because the church is telling them they should be soft. That ain't Bible.
Nope.
David wasn't no punk.
Nope.
So when?
Shadrach, Meshach, and the bad Negro wasn't no punk.
No, they wasn't.
Moses wasn't no punk.
Nope.
He had a body. He had his first tear.
Word.
Way before
Word.
he did anything. He had his first tear, son. Stenciled up there, bruh.
Really?
He was gangster, cuz. What y'all talking about? All this weakness.
They hide behind good, but it's like, okay, in time, she learns to accept the good guy because the more masculine guy may come with other issues. You know what I'm saying? And I think ultimately a lot of people, another reason why they can't handle the good when it actually is good is because people deep inside don't feel like they're worthy of it.
Yep.
Or they are accustomed to it because they're used to dysfunction. And when you're used to dysfunction and someone so good is presenting themselves to you, you can't believe it. You're looking for something wrong. People will sell.
That's that baggage.
Oh, we've been talking about baggage lately.
That's that baggage.
Hey.
And it's crazy because we don't even realize it. Like, we really don't realize, like, the baggage that we bring from one relationship to the next. And sometimes it might not actually even be a romantic relationship. It could be the relationship that you had with your parents. Mm-hmm. So for ladies, the relationship that you did or did not have with your father, and the same thing with men, the relationship that you did or did not have with your mother. Like, we got to do better, y'all. We got to get it together because it's a lot. Like, we've been in the information age for a while now. And there's so much information out there, it can make you go crazy. That's why personally, I like to stick with the word, okay? Because that's my moral compass. And if it don't align with that, then I can just throw the rest of it away.
People will self-sabotage or they'll run because at the end of the day, they just haven't healed from their deeper issues.
Clap it up, clap it up.
Yeah.
I didn't know Stephen Speaks was on tonight's conversation. So when I saw that, I had to see what he was going to say because he had to come with it because sometimes they be coming with it. Sometimes, well, most of the ones I see, they be thorough. So I was like, you better come thorough, bro. Don't get up here. Why is all of these folk unmarried? I don't understand why so many people in the relationship speaking space that ain't married.
Well, old girl told us. The doctor that was on with Dick Cannon and
finding somebody, they can't find nobody that's done the work like they've done the work.
Yes.
But all right, so here's the thing about people who do the work. If you've done the work, you know what to do when your person go off the rails.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. All you got to do is have the patience. Ain't that some of the work you got to do?
Yep.
Because that's really what it is patience. And the ability to calmly talk to them and teach them certain things. And, I mean, they know you're a doctor. They got to, no? Okay. I'm just saying, I feel like what it really is you get to a point where you don't have the patience for people to grow and you just tell everybody no because they're not on your level. Now, I don't know if this is with him. I'm just saying from that perspective that Dr. Bryant was talking about. You don't have the patience to deal with somebody. And a lot of them will tell you, no, I don't have the patience. I'm like, okay, then your work is not done. That's part of your work. Just from a common sense perspective, that's part of your work. From the Christian perspective, God often gives us what we need in a package that we don't want. Need, not want. He gives you what you need. And a lot of times, a lot of us need someone to help us learn patience. Now, that don't mean go and find somebody that gonna have you ripping your hair out all the time because they crazy. You do not need to be going down to the police station, bailing them out all the time. You don't need to be going to the crack house, getting them. Why are there any new crackheads? I don't understand. Y'all see what it do. Why would you be like, yes, I'm gonna try the crack? What are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I'm coming back. You don't need to be doing that. It don't need to be somebody who cheating on you left and right and stuff, because you, from the Christian perspective, we ain't even did nothing, and you cheating on me, and you sleeping around with all these other people, sampling walls from all these other people, and you expect me to give you my walls at some point when we get married?
How, Sway?
But you sharing yourself with everybody else, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because everybody that watches our channel is perfect, and none of y'all is giving the walls away, and none of you guys are taking the wall. When it's throwing the walls at you, you like, oh, missed it. Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? You dodge it.
Yes, and the ladies, y'all all got chastity belts.
Yes, they clank, lock it down.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You can't even walk. It's so heavy. You just dragging it. So that's what I need y'all to do. So since everybody watch our channel, y'all perfect. Y'all don't deal with none of this stuff. I'm just saying.
But other people that you need to share this with.
Yes, everybody that you got to tell about what's happening.
Yes.
Look, he made some very interesting points. The issue is we do have a society that is on so many levels trying to soften men.
Yes.
And we have to understand that there is a calculated attack at men, because you know it's calculated when it's in the food. Like when it's not just what we're being taught and what we're being shown. We're not talking about just propaganda. We're talking about in the food we're eating. Bruh, come on now.
Come on now, dog.
There's a calculated effort, obviously, to weaken men for whatever reason. I don't know the reasons. And then we have a society that promotes being more feminine, even to men, because we don't talk about our feelings and we have to be a lot softer. And if men were just like women, this world would be perfect.
What?
You know, all of that type of crap. All of that is the same thing. So we have to understand that we have a system in place for whatever reason or reasons, probably money, is teaching and trying to get men to be more feminine. So a lot of women are going to come across more feminine men. He spoke to why there's no initial attraction to a certain type of guy from a woman. I get it. Women are not built to be attracted to femininity. They're built to be attracted to masculinity. So if that's missing, that guy in your friend zone who you probably should marry, I understand that there's a lack there because he's too passive. I get it. He might still be best for you, sis. You might just have to tell him, yo, the reason I can't mess with you is because you don't move X, Y, and Z. And from the Christian perspective, tell him, look, you need to spend a lot of time in the Old Testament. New Testament got you feeling too soft. They not soft in the New Testament, but you feel like it. And because you feel like it, you need to do some Old Testament reading about some of these dudes that was out here knocking people's head off when they was 103 years old. You need to go back there because obviously you done messed something up. Something is off. Solomon wasn't no punk. Read something. Abraham, well, he did have a moment where he looked a little bit like a punk, but he thought he was gonna have a whole city come after him and his wife. He was wilding out, and that was a moment though. It was a moment. He
had a moment.
I'm not trying to diss. You know, ain't nobody dissing Abraham. I ain't nobody to be doing that. I'm just saying. Okay, guys, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to hit that like button. I need you to hit that notification button. I need you to hit that subscribe button. Set out of order, but nobody matters. I need you to hit all the buttons.
Yes.
Thank you. We need some perspective, y'all.
I was just going to say, I saw this post the other day and I wanted to read it because I was just like,
Okay, there you go.
It's called Toxic Masculinity. 43% of boys are raised by single mothers. 78% of teachers are female. So close to 50% of boys have 100% feminine influence at home and 80% feminine influence at school. Toxic masculinity isn't the problem. The lack of masculinity is. When I read it, I was like, take it in. You really, you got to stop, think about it. For real. I was like, dang, when you think, like when you go into the schools, what do you see? The teachers are women. You know, so it's like if if our boys are being trained from a young age, if, what did it say? 43% of the boys are raised by single mothers. So they're being raised pretty much just by their mother. Then they're being taught by a whole bunch of women. Where they're getting their masculinity from. How are they learning to be a man? I've said this before, and I will continue to say it until Jesus comes. We women are beautiful creatures.
Yes.
Okay? God has given us so much for us to do. However, the responsibility to teach a boy how to be a man is not one of them.
Nope.
You know why? Because we're not men.
That's true.
So we'll never be able to fully understand what it means to be a man and how to teach that to young men. Now, we can tell them certain things that we know that men should do, masculine things, but kids remember what they see and how you made them feel. So if they're not seeing that, how are they going to get that? How are our young boys going to get that? Yeah, I just thought that was a dope post.
I just want y'all to know some of that comes from a biological level too. Kids at a certain age when they're younger, and I've seen it in my son, and he's still doing it. He's 10. At a certain age, boys' ears can't even pick up.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
On the mom's voice right away, but when a man's voice hits, they hit that bass. There's reason
hit different.
It hit different,
They
but it's
really
a
do.
biological thing. A lot of times when you're calling or talking to your son, sometimes they can't hear you. It's not that they're being disrespectful or they just being acting like they can't. They just so into their game. No, they couldn't even hear you.
Yeah.
So there are some biological factors at play as to the differences between the interactions between boys and their mothers and boys and their fathers.
Yes.
Also, in my family, there is definitely a difference between when I talk to my son and when my wife talks to my son. And we use those differences to our advantage. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't hear. It's because you always hear somebody castigating the other side. You're not doing this and you're not doing that. You have to take the differences and use them to your advantage.
Right.
For those of you who are married who watch our channel, like there are differences between men and women, but there are also differences, between you and your wife's personality. Hopefully you are equally yoked and you can mismatch. Like there are certain things that you don't really get as good a reaction out of your kids with, then that may be the thing that your husband or your wife has to deal with and vice versa. And we have to find those things and then implement in that way. And don't try to be stepping out of your lane unless you 100% have to. For those of you who, maybe you messed up, you got a baby by some deadbeat and you sort of stuck here and now you got to deal with the consequences of it. You got to do the best that you can do, but you have to understand there is going to be lack. For those of you making decisions as to what you're going to do in the future, you have to understand that there will be consequences for whatever decision you decide to make. You decide to have a kid out of wedlock. If you decide to even purposely have a kid and become a single mom on purpose, there will be consequences for you making that decision. There will be lack in your kids' lives. These are biological things that are going to happen.
And that's
right?
whether you have a boy or a girl.
Right. So these are biological things that are going to happen. Start looking this stuff up. There are also psychological things that are going to happen. One thing I want to say before I end it is that everything we're talking about is about percentages. There is no guarantee 100% that you as a woman are not going to be able to raise a fully functioning good man. But the percentages are terrible in comparison to doing it in a 2-parent household. Yeah. Right. There's always going to be something a little bit off that you have to be concerned with because we're human. Right? There are always going to be certain kids who respond well in that home situation, who don't respond well in that home situation. There are going to be kids that are going to thrive in the single mom household. There are going to be kids that are going to thrive in 2-parent households. And then there are going to be kids that suck in 2-parent households and they fall through the cracks. There are going to be kids that fall through the cracks in a single parent household. But the reality is the percentage is higher, especially for men, to mess up in a single parent household because you can't do everything efficiently. You know why? Because 2 people can't do everything efficiently. There's still going to be people falling through the crack. There's just a higher percentage of people falling through the cracks if you're a single parent.
Right.
So that's one thing I want to say. I've been meaning to say it for a couple of videos. I want to make it something I say more often. But everything we're talking about is percentages. It's not guaranteed. But the reality is the decisions that we're making have consequences. And a lot of us are choosing negative consequences for our kids because we don't have all the information.
Yep. And now that we do have the information, if you find yourself in that situation, you want to try to do things to help your child have their best chance.
Right.
So if you are a single mom and you have a boy child or multiple, boys, try to get good male influence around them. Get them involved in maybe sports. If you belong to a church, maybe ask if there's some type of mentorship from an older gentleman whom you feel as though is a good representation of someone who is Christ-like.
Don't just get any man.
Nope. Yeah, don't get anybody. Don't do that. But you want to try to get as many male positive influences around your son or your sons at a young age. I grew up in a single parent home. I told you guys this before. And it was me, my sister, and my 2 brothers and my mom. And it's like there is a difference between us, between me and my sister, the girls, and my brothers. And I think one of the biggest differences is making sure that males basically have that male influence in their lives from a young age, so that way they can kind of teach them and show them how to function as a man, basically how to be able to do manly things so that they can exist in our society and know how to be a productive male. I feel like I said that all wrong.
Let me help you out. Talk don't go something like this. Don't nobody care about us. Just go on, take it but to work. Do what you got to do. Turn your emotions off. You turn them on for your wife. Don't tell her everything. Lie to your wife. It makes your relationship better. This is exactly how the conversation is going to go. So I just wanted to let you know off top what you're going to be exposing them to. This is what it's going to be. Nobody cares about you. Really? You're a man. Get used to it. Get over it.
Okay.
That's it. It just sounds so much better coming from a guy that you'd be like, yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Man power. And y'all go out and y'all do man stuff. Mm-hmm. Cut down a tree. Go hunting. You know? Man stuff. Grr.
If you guys made it this far, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up so that way YouTube knows that you appreciate what we're putting down.
What we're putting down.
Hey, everybody. Down in the description, there are 2 links.
One is to a GoFundMe, and the other one is to a video that explains what the GoFundMe is for. Mm-hmm. Long story short, we have a medical situation with our daughter that we have to pay for everything out of pocket, and we could really use you guys' help. If you have the time, we'd love for you to go check it out. If you have the money, the funds, we'd love for you guys to help. If not, maybe you could send a link to somebody else who can help. We thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Press the off button.